So it's 2017 and I thought that I would give you some of my New Year's resolutions for this year. I know that a lot of the times that people, they make these New Year's resolutions and then they don't actually do them, or like they last for about 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 2 months, and then we start getting lazy. And I definitely used to be one of those people that if I hadn't kept up with like my timeline of my New Year's resolution, or if I stopped for a week, I would just be like, oh well, I'm never gonna make it now anyway, so I just won't do it. And that's ridiculous. New Year's isn't the only time to make a resolution. You can start a resolution whenever you feel like you're ready for it. And just because you fall behind, that doesn't mean that you failed. It just means that you try again, and we keep building, and we keep growing, and we keep becoming the people that we're supposed to be. So last year was the first year that I can honestly say I actually kept my New Year's resolutions. I didn't have a lot, and I'm not saying that it was the easiest thing in the world, and I did have some hiccups along the way. When I did have those bumps in the road, I picked myself up and I kept going. Last year I quit McDonald's. I decided that I was not going to eat McDonald's or Burger King or KFC, things like that I would fall into a pattern of just eating, and that's a goal that I'm really proud of. And now it's just like a second nature. I just don't do it. Another resolution that I made last year was that I wanted to be healthy. Definitely there are days that I definitely did not eat healthy, but for the most part of the year I stayed really healthy the whole year, and I lost 22 kilos. So let's move into my New Year's resolutions for this year. Now I've got a pretty long list. So my first one is I want to learn a new skill. Recently I just went out and I bought a ukulele. I have always wanted to learn how to play the ukulele, and I have just never done it. But that is one of my New Year's resolutions, is to teach myself to play the ukulele. My next one is to learn a new language. I always say that I want to learn a new language, and I've tried sort of Duolingo and those sorts of apps, but I do really well for a few weeks and then I get lazy. I think I'm going to stick with Spanish. I've sort of started some Spanish this year, but it's very, very minimal. I'm going to get back into running. Last year I started doing a lot of running, and then towards the end of the year it stopped. It got to winter and I got lazy, and I got a new job and I was working 12 hours a day, and I kept making excuses. I kept being like, oh, I'm too tired. So this year I'm going to try and run at least 3 times a week. My next one is just live healthy. I started last year, and I really love knowing what I'm putting into my body, and I really love knowing that I'm making better decisions for my body to make it last longer. The thing is, I feel a lot better when I do that. I feel a lot better when I know what I'm doing with my body, and when I can feel things changing, and it makes me really happy. My next one is it just says YouTube. I, for years, have been wanting to properly start my YouTube channel, and I keep putting it off. I keep getting nervous that I'm making a fool of myself, but the thing is, I can do something just because I love it. So that's a definite big thing for me this year. I'm going to try and upload at least once a week, and see how that goes. This is my first of the year, so let's go. Okay, my next one is read more books. I am a really big reader, and normally I read 2 to 3 books a week. Last year, I was really slack on my reading. On top of that, I'm going to try audiobooks again. I have tried audiobooks before, but sometimes I find that the people reading them are boring. But I spend 12 hours a day pretty much in a house now. I'm working as a nanny, so while I'm doing things around the house, I'm just going to have an audiobook playing. All this year is going to be about learning and broadening my horizons. My next one is to write more. I love writing and I don't do it enough. I'm going to try to journal. I think I'm going to sit my journal next to my bed, and every night before I go to sleep, I'm going to journal. Just try and get all my ideas out. People always tell me that if you journal for 20 minutes before bed and just get all of those ideas out, you sleep better. And I am such an insomniac that it might help me. My next one is to use my diary. I am so bad at not using my diary. I buy these beautiful diaries. I bought an Erin Condren diary 18 months ago, and I absolutely love it. Like, it's so beautiful, and I had all these plans to use it and I didn't. But I'm actually a super busy person and I'm forgetful. So I need to write things down so that I don't forget to do them, because otherwise it'll end up 3 weeks down the line and I'll have a deadline and I have one night to do it. So that's the thing that I really need to get into. I want to listen to more podcasts. That's another thing that I can just have on during the day, learning and finding out things about the world. I tend to soak things in more when I listen to them, so I feel like that's just something I can have playing during the day. I'm going to go and download a bunch of audiobooks tonight and a bunch of podcasts and see what happens. Of course, at the end of the day, my main goal for every year is to just be happy. Learn to be happy with myself, and I feel like this last sort of year or whatever has sort of been shaping who I am as a person, and that's what I'm looking forward to this year. And it's my last year in the UK. I only get 2 years here, so I'm going to try and make the most of it. I'm going to do everything I have been putting off. I'm just going to do it, and we'll see how life goes. Life's an adventure, and I'm sure that a lot of these things might change, but that's okay because I'm changing every single day. We're always changing, and I just urge you to take things one day at a time and live in the moment. You're never going to be the same as you are this exact moment. So live your life. If you have any New Year's resolutions that either you achieved from last year or that you're going to set yourself to doing this year, then write them down below. On that note, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you next week for a new video. Bye!